like they won't go up there like in the next like 5 years. They're gonna be. There's probably you see the road that this is on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think me and Mike took an Uber from Brixton to Peckham.
Yeah.
On time to do this, and the area. If you keep going up that hill, like it's like yeah. You see the hill you walk up to if you keep walking up that hill, it just becomes like residential, like really nice houses. They're probably worth like I don't know how big in terms of rooms there are, but it must be worth.
No, but even like walking up here, you see nice houses, isn't it?
Yeah, even you see that road. Well, yeah, the road that, as you said, like past the station.
Yeah.
You're walking to the right. Even there, I'm seeing nice cars, nicely done houses, etc. So they must be worth what, like.
Good million.
Probably $1 million easily, and they're not even that big, but just because of location and what it is now.
I think as soon as you hit London, that's when the prices just start. Like this, even outside, like even probably where we live, the prices are mad anyway.
The prices are mad for what they are, but the prices here for what they are just ridiculous. Like, I was thinking to myself, like at one point in my life, I would like to live. It'd be cool to live like in central London, but it's just like I don't see the point from a money point of view.
Yeah.
For what you get, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, probably not worth it.
I don't see the point. Like it's just, and then you see this like obviously like what we saw last night. It's busy. It looks cool in it, but it's just like
no.
And even the rent prices are like for what you're gonna get. Maybe I don't know how much you pay. Maybe $600 a month for a room. For a room. No. For your own place, it's gonna be at one point going towards 2K now. Yeah. But what 600? I know we did that at uni, but that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But like to do that and be working, because it's coming out of your own money. This isn't loan, like this is your own money now. I don't see the point. I'd rather just live somewhere else. Yeah. Like it's just not worth it.
But then you say that, and then you think, because what? Like if I think it's a train ticket from like Reading to Paddington, and that's just those stations. I think it's probably like what $3-4 grand a year. That's you could probably you could just add. Do you know what I mean? The money you're saving on rent is probably just going straight back onto your fares. So if you work in London, it makes
the season ticket. True.
I think you just got to make it work for you, innit? Like you've got to figure out.
Yeah, it depends what you want, to be honest. Like it depends what you're coming for. If you live there, then it obviously makes sense to. No, so if you work there, it makes sense to probably live there as well. Just from.
But then if you want like a quieter life, and you're willing to just pay. For it, I think it's just you as a person. Like.
I was thinking about. Because obviously my mum spent a long time living in Ladbroke Grove area, and that's where I obviously spent the first years of my life there. Yeah. And she said like the difference between now and then, like it's gonna become like within like 10 years somewhere like it is very trendy now, and obviously the prices there are like ridiculous now because of the borough it's in, and etc. But it's just like in like probably 20 years is it even gonna be trendy anymore? Because it's like you've pushed all the people that have made it,
the trend,
like, all the people that my mum knew that lived there. Or own businesses, like the trendy businesses back in like the early 2000s. Yeah. They're not there anymore, they've been like, made to sell up.
That's not what's going to happen.
So it's like, at some point in, I don't know, like 10 years, is it going to be a case of like, do you even want to, like, it's probably going to become like, the areas I'm living in Kent or in Reading, they're going to start becoming like, people are going to be like, oh, let's live there because it's like cheaper. Yeah, and all the people that were making areas of like central London trendy are all going to move out to further afield and people are just going to follow them. Yeah. It's just going to continue.
Yeah. I think for our generation though, London's place. Or like, I think, to be fair, I feel like up north is coming like quite big with us anyways. Like, I think a lot of people in London or like where we're from can't afford like your London prices, or even, I can't afford rent prices, you probably can't, I can't afford rent prices. So we're all like normally, like, I see a lot of people saying like, oh, just move to Manchester, because to be fair, up north you get like cheap prices, or like Leeds or somewhere, like you get pretty good prices.
Don't know about them. But you know now also
so I did see somewhere it was like a 4-bedded house in Leeds for like $250. I was like, that's mad cheap.
I was thinking that obviously before we go into what we're going to talk about today in this podcast, you see because I was listening to something at my work the other day and they were talking about how like before COVID hit, they were like, oh, we really don't want people working at home because they didn't believe in it. They thought like, oh, production levels would go down, etc. Yeah. But then obviously they found that it doesn't really make too much of a difference. So I'm thinking, obviously there's like right now the like England and probably the UK too. Is like centralised around the southeast of London. But obviously with people being able to work from home, do you think there'll be a decentralisation in the future? And then
100%.
Because like, I think if you can work from home, then you're talking about like Leeds is $250 for a 4-bed. Yeah. And you can have a nice family life, and your company could be in London.
You have to go like maybe 3 times a year or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the case, to be fair. Like I think a lot of companies now have realised how good working from home is for them. Because they're not paying the rent. You've got to pay all your bills. Like your electric bill's going through the roof now because you're paying for all that. You've got to pay for the Wi-Fi. They don't have to pay for that. Like, I think you can get like reimbursements from the government or something.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like there's going to be a point where the company's like, yeah, we're not paying for your Wi-Fi. Like,
but at the same time, as you said about the season tickets for your trains or commute, it's probably going to work out cheaper if you're paying higher Wi-Fi or higher connections.
Yeah, but you might be doing that, but then you've also paid for your electric bills. Or this
true. Would that not work out cheaper still than say if you had to come and live in London? If you say you're from Leeds, and you want to come and live here, you have to pay.
It might do, but it
probably would work out
that way. But then you think, but like, would you be willing to pay more for your work? Do you know what I mean? Like, because what your company's saving, they're saving money on rent right now. Well, like, obviously not now, but say for instance they make everyone from home saving money on the rent, their electricity, their Wi-Fi. They're saving all their overhead costs and then just adding to yours. And if they're not making up for that, you're gonna be a bit pissed. Like, right.
I don't think people will think. I know a lot of people that are happy to work at home probably would be willing to pay a little bit more in it just to be able to not have to.
Yeah. To be fair, for sometimes, but I still would like the option to go to an office. To still like, although you're working here, do you want to be working from home and never meet anyone that you?
It's true. That's true. Now I probably will go back to my office at some point soon, but I don't know. I just thought obviously because if you can work from your home in like Manchester, Newcastle, wherever, and your companies, it just makes more sense, and therefore maybe prices in London and around might go down because people might not be so bothered about. It would make it a bit of a. Because I know certain places up north are a bit mad.
But then I don't know. I don't think the government would ever let that happen, innit? I feel like they'll see that shift and like, we've got to find some way to get these people back and spend the money here. Because they already said too much is like just go online, innit? Like.
But then at the same time, like, how can they stop it? Because technology keeps advancing.
Yeah.
So it's like they can't really stop the control of technology.
I saw somewhere like there were like people are doing too much like online shopping.
Yeah.
They put like I think it's some weird. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was a tax they put on that to like deter people from like buying online and shops just doing online stuff.
But you still even then like you still. For me, I'd probably still pay that tax just so it comes to my door rather than me having to go all the way somewhere.
So that's the thing, like, but they're trying ways like they're just seeing like what works. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, I hear that.
I feel like I don't feel like they've just moved everything online, like even like online banking, like the banks. I think it was in Bournemouth actually. I went to a Barclays bank and I walked in there and I was literally the cash desk and then I was just like I don't even want to do this. So I just walked straight back out and I was like I'm pretty young, so I imagine the old person walking in. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I don't put my money in like when you like paying into the cash. I'm like, nah. I'd rather just take it. And
I do hear that. But there are increasingly it's going to be a case of like everyone is doing things online and they can't stop that. Like you physically can't.
I think you've got to get used to the change in it. Like. But I mean, it's obviously a bit harder for older people, but I feel like not in a rude way they're dying out. If that makes sense. Yeah,
of course. Like our generation is obviously anyone probably, but I don't know. Like I can't. There are other older people that are probably shifted well to this and like fine with it anyway. But everything that I was thinking to myself, like I see on social and I see people talk about like I'm not gonna let my kid have a phone or tablets until they're a certain age. But we've got to the point now where you actually probably can't allow because so much has changed in the sense where we're so focused around technology now, like so much is done over it, you can't really not let your kid have that.
To be fair, I saw someone saying that and I was like, I probably wouldn't let my kid have a mobile phone until they need it.
But a tablet.
Yeah. Because I'm like, realistically, you need a mobile phone. Like, to be fair, as I've got older, I'm like, a mobile phone just makes calls in it, so I'm not bothered about what I've got, so like, you probably don't actually need it. But my parents gave me like a tablet, a computer, PSPs, and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna like stop my child having that, because I don't think it made an effect on me, innit? Like,
I know a lot of kids like they're obsessed with like just watching YouTube all day now rather than playing with toys. But in this day and age, like you can't. That things have shifted. That it's not what people toys. I don't have a kid myself. I don't really. Like, do you know
I don't really know what's like.
But I just think you physically can't function now without some kind of technology. So it would be stupid to set your kid up without technology from a young age.
Because even the way you stop them, like even if like say for instance our parents stopped us, we still went to school with the computers. So I mean like.
Yeah, exactly. So then they're gonna get.
There's only so much stopping you can like have.
They'll get to school and they'll probably be behind on certain things because they won't. Even probably in the future, as we're seeing right now with COVID, there's online lessons. So how can you bring your kid up without technology? It's impossible to do.
I mean, obviously if you can't afford it, that's completely different situation. But if I can afford it, I'm not going to stop them.
Yeah.
Like, you can limit them, do you know what I mean? Like, you can just be like, cool, you won't have a phone because you don't need a phone, but you have a tablet that does the exact same thing, it just doesn't make the calls, you don't need to take the calls.
Yeah, so you can't contact people in the same way. But now, social media, I think, depending on the child's age, but I try and keep them away from that for as long as possible, because that's a mad place. But in terms of like games on the tablet, YouTube, etc.
I'm gonna give you a console. Like, it's not gonna affect you.
Yeah, it's not gonna affect you.
I'm still gonna make sure you go out and do sports, innit? Like, I need my footballer sons, you know what I mean? Like, I need that money sorted, innit? So.
Nah, but you'll never see kids play that. Like, you know, when you play out when you're younger, you'll never see that again. I don't think, because the world's just.
I think we say that, but then I'm pretty sure these kids still do it, innit? Like.
I'm sure some do, but I'm sure also a lot of kids are just in their rooms all day on tablets or P4s.
I think, it depends on the age. I feel like young kids are, to be fair. I feel like young kids are pretty protected. Their parents always like. Otherwise, there'd be no one playing sports right now. Do you know what I mean? If that was the case.
True.
I feel like as you get older, everyone. I think you always think the younger generations do something different to you. I don't think they're doing drastically different. Like,
yeah, that's true.
And also, you can't like, you know, our parents' generation like keep complaining about it. I'm like, you're the generation that made it for us. Do you know what I mean? Like. If you didn't make it, we wouldn't have it.
Yeah, the people of your age, they were making these things for us.
So that's why when I look at things, innit, like we make YouTube content, like I can't then moan at kids.
Yeah, for watching it, we're making it. We're trying to make money with
that.
Can't really complain about it too much. But yeah, the On Record podcast episode, you check it.
No,
it's like 7 or 8 now. But yeah.
Now next week we'll probably check it. Nah, let's check it now.
This is getting ridiculous. You don't know. It was like it wasn't that shocking to him. Obviously, as I explained to you, because he's been knowing about this for a while. He's been living there now for a few years. So it's like it's not surprising to him for all this to be now erupting because it's happening. But it is shocking. Obviously, it's the situation for anyone that doesn't know. It's basically this special unit within the police in Nigeria that were meant to be dealing with like mad violence and kidnappings and that kind of like really like violent crimes, that kind of thing, robberies, that kind of thing.
Robberies,
But they're basically abusing their powers. The government pretty much, they don't do anything about it. They're just letting them abuse these powers to like kidnap young people. They're especially like harsh on young people, like killing them, assaulting them, kidnapping, that kind of thing. So it's all a very mad situation there. And then obviously there's mad protests in Abuja and all those different cities in Nigeria as well. But yeah, from what my dad said, the president's pretty much not doing anything about it. Hasn't really. They did say, I think last year he said he was gonna try and do things to change it or like reform it, but nothing's changed. It's got worse now to the point where now people are out on the streets all over the world. So it is a big mess. But obviously, what we were going to talk about in kind of conjunction with that was how kind of colonialism from like European countries has left these countries, because Nigerian Independence Day was what,
about 2 weeks,
10 days ago, and I know a lot of the diaspora was like celebrating it, but I know a lot of people that obviously have lived in Nigeria or are living. So for example, my dad and that side of the family, and also like friends of mine who have lived there, and they weren't really too keen about celebrating it. So like this is still so they were like cool, like happy independence and that, but they weren't like some people on socials were like like happy independence, they're gone, like, that's sick. Like, I'm proud of myself of that heritage and etc. But I know certain people as well that were like, well, and then that was like what, a couple of days before this SARS thing really started to erupt. But they were like, obviously from living there themselves, they were like, well, so, like I don't really want to celebrate too much, because right now, for me personally, from what I'm seeing in that country, there's nothing to celebrate. Do you get what I'm saying? So I was just going to talk today about kind of how I guess colonialism, both in probably like the Caribbean and in African continent, like how that's affected basically
how they left people.
So thoughts on that.
To be fair, I think I always said to you, I find the British, like the colonial past that they're so proud of, the British Empire that they're always so happy about. Proper weird, isn't it? Because like, you see how they always celebrate it, they will say it in the news like, oh, the Great British Empire. Like, I think that's mad, isn't it? Because like the way you came about with it wasn't, do you know what I mean? Like, you enslaved people to get your British Empire, like you stole from India, all this stuff, you stole from Africa, all this stuff.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't see, I'm not surprised that, I don't think anything about colonialism left anyone in a good position. Like, to be fair, you might have helped develop some of their countries, to some extent. But I think that's, I'll say that loosely in it, because realistically the British came in and took all the best parts of the country and left them in such a situation.
Yeah.
That was like a breeding ground for like...
For violence and crime and everything, corruption. Yeah. Obviously, as I said to you, like in Nigeria, from what my dad said to me as well, like it's literally just a case of anyone that comes into the government takes money from what's meant to be for like improving the country, buys themselves properties or whatever they want, and then pretty much cover it up somehow. Yeah. And it's just a cycle of that. Anyone that comes in, even if there are potentially, I don't know, like the Nigerian government system, like, so I'm not gonna come and pretend like I'm some expert, but from what I know is that it's a case of just, there might be some good like apples, whatever you want to call it, within that trying to actually come in and do good, but there are a lot of people that are in it for themselves. They'll come in, they'll take that money, they'll abuse their power and then leave and get away with it. It's just a continuous cycle. I don't really, as I said, I'm not an expert, know how this is in general as well for like a lot of African countries. How do you even fix something like that? I don't really know, because it's just a continuous.
I think, I feel like there's a point where you've got to stop blaming what happened in the past in it, because it is now the people in the present that are doing it. Like, and I'm guessing the people in the future, like there's some people in there that their family's probably done it and like, oh cool, that's what I'm going to do in it. Like I know how to play the system. So I think to some extent, like the colonialism is to blame, because that's what they first started off. But like I'll say now, like we said, it was what, their 60th independence day. Like obviously I feel like Britain still had a hand in like all these places. Do you know what I mean? Like they didn't just like say, oh yeah, you're free. They definitely like, do you know what I mean? Like
took what they wanted from it and then left. But
so
I don't really know how you.
It's one of those things. Yeah, it's just literally those people need to stop.
But something did happen. Like basically, I can't remember. I should have read up on this before I came, but it was, what country was it? Basically, it was a country in Africa that I think it was Mugabe.
Oh, it was Zimbabwe.
It was someone there that was. I went to watch something, a film about it. This was years ago, but it's a story of like how I think it was Mugabe. It was someone that was one of his predecessors came before him. Obviously, if I'm wrong, I apologise, but he was someone that was actually trying to do good. Like he was there to actually improve the country, right? But corruption, they killed him off. And that's what it is. So even if you do get, this has happened more than once as well, like, and and European countries, they'll vilify the person that's trying to do good, because they know that if he.
Oh, I know you were talking about. It wasn't an African country. It was, not Mugabe. I know who you're talking about. Oh, it was the Arab guy that they killed.
Nah, it was him, but it was someone else as well within this story. I'll look at it later and I'll try and confirm that. But obviously they killed him off and to make way for someone they could control basically. And obviously with the corruption, etc. I know you, the guy you were talking about as well.
Gaddafi, that's the one I was thinking.
I don't necessarily know if he was.
I don't know.
100% legit, but I do know that America made sure they've made him out to be terrorists, and then.
Because I did hear someone that said like so I remember someone saying like I think it was like if they trade in gold or something, like Africa would be the wealthiest continent. And I think that's something like, I think that's what Gaddafi said. I remember seeing a video of him saying like, oh, we need to trade in like this money instead of dollars, and then all of a sudden like he came and fit him. But I don't know 100% about him in it, like, so, but I do agree that I feel like especially the West, like America and the UK, they vilify people that want to disrupt like their benefit, if that makes sense.
100%, because it benefits European countries, obviously the ones that were involved in colonialism, that it does benefit them that these countries are still a mess. Because as long as they are, they can take from them. I'm sure they're doing business with these countries, and with the corruption that's there, they're probably getting some nice deals with oil and all sorts of things. Like it doesn't. If someone did come along and was like, right, we're not giving you any more oil. We're not giving you any more of our resources, then it becomes a problem.
That's when it does become a problem.
So I don't know how. So to be honest, like I know we said at a certain extent, you've got to stop blaming colonialism, but then it is still happening, if you know what I mean. Because I feel like there are certain people in certain countries that have been victims of that. Still
100%.
Putting money under the table to
but I don't think you can't put the whole blame on there at all. I think it's. I don't know, I think it's global blame though. I don't think, again, you can't just blame the people in Nigeria for what they're doing or like in any of these countries, because there's people outside of those countries that are benefiting, that help with that corruption. Do you know what I mean? I think, the corruption breeds corruption, so say for instance someone in Nigeria is being corrupt, but there's also probably someone in America that's just as corrupt as them, like gaining from that. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think you can ever stop it. Do you know what I mean? Like people always find a way to benefit themselves before other people. Like,
on that, I was kind of, I guess, obviously with presidents and countries in America, obviously that's another story actually we haven't thought about talking about, Trump getting COVID, as well as, because it's the elections are a month away now.
Something like that.
And
must be that one.
to be honest, I saw that, it was quite a viral TikTok video, but I think it's that my mum said to me, and I know other people that are thinking about it as well, that it's going to be like, not civil war, but potentially like a lot of unrest, regardless of who wins. So if Biden wins, you're going to get the rednecks and like all the pro-Trump, like racists basically, who are going to be, probably, they're going to start shooting at black people. They're going to retaliate to not get what they want. And then if you get Trump re-elected after all that's happened, when he's pretty much endorsed
like racism and
like white supremacists and that, you're just going to get black people continuing to protest and then getting, because Trump's not going to do anything about the police.
Yeah, obviously.
Because it's not trending anymore, but they're still killing, and they killed that black guy the other day.
Yeah, I saw there was one like last night, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think, I can't remember what it was, but he was like hung and then he was like, oh yeah, it was suicide, but he'd been beaten up.
Yeah, exactly. Bullshit, yeah.
But to be fair, again, like, I think Trump's an easy person to blame just because, like, personally I don't like him. Like, I don't like his views and stuff. But then we can still argue they had the first black president in Obama and nothing changed under him either. Do you know what I mean? So
that's true, but I feel like
yeah, I don't think Biden will do much to change police reform either because he was vice president for Obama. Them two together didn't. Do you know what I mean? They didn't overhaul it and reform it. So now, why as an individual are you gonna?
Well, with everything that's going on in that country right now, with the Black Lives Matter movement is still going on, and coronavirus, which he hasn't really dealt with at all. I feel like people are just doing what they want.
Yeah. But I feel like Americans, I don't think it's gonna cause
it won't be a civil war, but there'll be more unrest, like a lot of unrest there. Like,
but then think about even here, there was unrest when like Boris and those people like at number 10 like cussing them out.
Yeah, but America's a different animal. Like they're absolute. They're just
fair enough.
It's weird. Like I really do believe that if Trump gets re-elected or even Biden, there will be a lot more violence. Regardless, either way, come mid to the end of November, there will be more violence in that country.
I feel like it might be reported more. I don't know if it would be more.
Yeah,
I don't. To be fair, like the older I get, the less I just care about America. Like not in a rude way. Like I don't know. Like, I just don't know enough about their politics. Like, I don't even understand it. Like I don't understand how Trump got in because he didn't like win the vote. He won like the collegiate vote or something. I don't really know. I don't. Like, there was like 2 different votes you could win. Like Hillary won one, but then he won one and became a president. Like I don't quite understand it.
But they were saying, what was it? He stopped like, I think it was 3 million or something black people from voting. Systematically stopped them from doing that.
I saw there was like I don't know what it was on like Channel 4, but I can't remember what it was. But there was like a third party that was predicting like who wouldn't vote and then like targeting them to like say this person's bad, so that don't go to the polls. So basically just stop and say like, these people are undecided, we can block them from. Because they're like, they don't want Trump, we can block them from voting. Full stop. But
obviously it's mad, like as you get older, obviously you said, like you just realise how corrupt that place is to be honest.
I mean, like,
crazy.
I would say it's corrupt, but I do also still feel that like, there are more opportunities sometimes in America than here. Like, it depends what industry you want to go into, I suppose. But like, I do sometimes just look and think, like, if you watch TV, there'll be some Americans that are making like, they'll be like, I'm on a 6-figure salary, you know, but the job they're doing would be like in the UK just like 40 grand. Like, I do think like I feel like there's more opportunities, but I think that's also because it's a big country. But obviously there's like higher competition. But I don't glorify the country. I'm like, I remember when I was young, I was like, I want to move to America. I think she saw on TV, I was like, I'm going to move to America. Like sometimes I'm a bit like, I would move to America still. But like I always said like America's only good if you're rich because if you can't afford the healthcare, then why? Like it's cheap for me if I'm dying in America just to fly back to the UK and risk it.
What was Obama doing? Was it like Obamacare? Was that what it's called?
Yeah.
And then Trump scrapped it.
Yeah. Well, I think he replaced it. I don't know. Fuck.
No, he doesn't care about anyone. Like honestly, that man, I can't believe.
Well, yeah, because to be fair, I get like people like, vote Trump because he's a sick businessman, but I've heard him be like bankrupt a hell of times. Like, you know, he only pay like £700 in tax.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, it's because my business wasn't making any profit. So then like, the people like are still arguing he's a good businessman, but if no one's making profit, if like none of your business is making profit, you can do £700, you're not a good business.
I think he's still ill. I think he's like not,
Obviously,
he's not good, but they're just gonna hide.
No one's gone to the hospital with corona, just come out with like 2 days later.
He said, oh, the doctors told me I'm different or something.
Probably.
I swear to you, no, he actually said it.
Probably.
The doctors told me they've never seen anyone's body recover from this. He's like 75 years old. He's out of his mind. Like he's definitely like got oxygen mask. As soon as he comes off,
he's the only one that's different.
Yeah, as soon as he comes off camera, he's definitely getting oxygen.
To be fair, I saw there was a video and it was like you know, like people analyse videos of like they've like edited out all his coughs. And I watched. The
I
video,
did see that.
I did see the jump and I was like, he's definitely coughing. There's no way you're going to hospital.
100%. Yeah, 100%. But then, even if he gets in and dies, then I don't know, man.
Man said he's different.
He did. He said, I've never seen anyone like recover so quick. Like, the doctor said that, but that's bullshit. Like they know you're.
But then I also heard they were feeding him like all the stuff when you go into like intensive care that they give you.
Yeah.
Like, apparently he was getting that straight off the bat anyway. So I don't think he's cured or like I still feel like he's in his room coughing at night.
He's definitely ill, but he's gonna obviously. I think I saw Sky News was talking about the other day. Obviously, if Trump. I can't remember what they said. It's like this. As you said, with the whole way American politics work, it's really complicated. So I'll try and put it up. But they were saying something about if he did like die, there will be some that it's really complicated how they do it. Like in terms
of the vice president.
Nah, it's not because it's so close to an election. They'd have. I think the Republican Party. What they'd have to do is they'd have to try and get a new candidate. Or something, they'd have to vote with their own party to get, and it might not be the vice president, if you get what I'm saying.
No, I thought, but I meant like, so you know, like if Trump was to die, the person that would immediately take over the country would be the vice president, wouldn't it? And then like the party that's running for the new election would be someone they would vote for.
I think I'll try and put it up now.
Surely that would be similar to the UK because like whoever's the deputy prime minister here, if anything happened to Boris Johnson, they would just step in.
Yeah.
And then like I'm guessing because that's not what happens to his name, but like then they vote again within the party and then they can change who. That's what happened to Theresa May, and it's like she steps in after work.
But he did say like there was about this guy, this American guy that they had on. He was talking about maybe I think it was like nearly 10 different different scenarios that there could potentially be depending on what happens. If he's like too ill to run, or if he's it's never happened before. I don't think so. Probably. I can't. I'm trying to see if it's there.
Because I did see somewhere on the news that were like, oh, if anything happens to Trump, Mike Pence will step in. But then obviously the next election, it doesn't mean he'll be the candidate for the next election. Like they'll vote within themselves.
Yeah.
They think it's the best presidential candidate for the next election, and put them forward.
Yeah. No, it says like the polls on here that national polls are saying Biden's leading over Trump.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I would hope you lot have learned a lesson not to vote for
I don't think they have. There's a lot of people, as we've talked about before, they're so uneducated in those places. That just don't understand.
But then you say that, but then those people don't make up the majority of people. Like that most, I don't know. I mean, they've done it once, so I'm not gonna be surprised if they do it again.
I can't believe it.
Who
was it gonna be? Oh, Hillary, innit? She said
yeah. I don't know why. I'm not being funny. I don't know why she kept running. She ran like did she run against Obama? She keeps running like.
Yeah.
Did she run again for this one as well? Didn't she?
I think for a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, even if she needs to stop, innit? Like,
but what is it? They go on like they go around the country and talking to different areas. And they know they've got that.
Yeah.
Different states normally vote for
like Republican or Democrat.
Yeah. But I think I can't remember what it was, but I think I saw like Trump might be losing one that he normally has just because of what he said, but I can't remember what it is exactly.
Yeah.
But it's always it's like the Bible Belt, and it's like or the South.
Yeah.
They always get Republican because they just listen to anything that guy says, but.
To be fair, I don't think it's too different from the UK. I think we understand the UK because we're obviously here, but like, I would say the UK basically have now two parties. You basically got the Conservatives and Labour. That's normally who people vote for. Like obviously there are the Lib Dems.
But with the UK, with the Conservatives, you were seeing you were seeing like places that you wouldn't normally think would vote for.
There was one place that like never had voted.
Yeah, now they're voting, and now look at what they're going through because of.
That's why part of me. What was it?
You know what?
Part of me's a bit like, you voted for him now, like, accept what you voted for.
Might as well go. We're coming on to the UK now. Might as well talk about who's getting a 3K pay rise? Was it?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Is it
members of parliament? They're refusing it.
When the NHS workers have got nothing?
Yeah. Or if they have, they've got very little.
3K pay rise.
3K on top of that 80,000 already. I think. And I did see somewhere else.
That's crazy.
It was probably like 2 weeks ago. Like Boris Johnson was complaining that he didn't have enough money to fund his like lifestyle. Like he couldn't afford to put his kids through education because when he was at, I think it was The Guardian. I don't know which newspaper it was, but whatever newspaper article he was at, he was earning like 250k a year. So obviously he came accustomed to a lifestyle he could afford.
Yeah.
But then obviously he quit that job to be Prime Minister. Which, like, I'm really funny, if I was on 250k to 80k, do you think I'm going to take that pay cut just so I can say I was the Prime Minister once? So I'm not taking that pay cut.
I think
you took that pay cut.
Just because for one night, because he's not going to get in again.
I don't know. Question pretty good.
But nah, like, I think, yeah, because once you've done it, you're going to get, like, booked, I don't know, like...
Yeah, you go down in history, but it's like...
Yeah, you're going to get put down.
But my thing is, I'll be looking at it like... Especially as a conservative person, they're very much like money driven, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, 100%.
That's a big pay cut, that's not like...
I think David Cameron, like, after he left, after he stepped down, didn't he, after Brexit, but he knew, as soon as that happened, he was like, what about, he did not expect this country to vote
obviously, yeah. He thought he was secure in it, he's like, give them what they want, they'll shut the hell up and vote me back in.
Even he knew that it was not a good idea to leave the EU, and look what's happening now. But anyway, after David Cameron stepped down, I think he started earning like ridiculous amounts of it. So
I mean, he probably was earning ridiculous amounts before because he was probably doing what they all basically like do journalism, innit? So I suppose you could take a pay cut, but then I was a bit like, that's mad that you're complaining that you can't afford because he was like, oh, I need more money because I can't afford like the private nanny, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. But I was a bit like, that's not a regular thing that you can afford, and also you've made the decision to take that pay cut.
Yeah, it's your choice. It's not like you've been out of work.
Yeah, because if an ordinary person took a pay cut, he wouldn't be like, oh, well, sure. Oh, we'll give you a bit extra money then. Like,
and they've been saying what
money don't grow on trees or some shit.
No, they've been saying people that are in the hospitality and events businesses, they should they should retrain and find.
I did see somewhere that was it ITV that said that? They said that, but they had taken out of like context. Apparently he didn't actually say that. He said like just in general people might start thinking to retrain.
I mean,
it
is kind of fair enough in a way to say that. If we're being real, under the circumstances, you can't have these play. Like I know, it's annoying me. It's annoying me a little bit, that people are doing petitions for like clubs and shit to be opening again, but they're not saying anything about like, say, I didn't see any of them post about Black Lives Matter or what's happening in China with Uyghur Muslims, or what's happening now in Nigeria, or what was the other.
They shouldn't say anything about anything.
There's a lot. There's been another thing that people are talking a lot about. Yemen, like like things that have been happening this year that are more important than you going out and taking pictures wherever you want to go or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're doing like, do you know what I mean? Like you can't have these. I know it's sad that hospitality is closed and it's sad that events aren't running, but that's where the spread's gonna come from, and we've seen it happen because obviously when he did that Eat Out to Help Out, what happened? Now we're probably going to be going into another lockdown because I know that's their mistake. But you've seen what happens when you allow events to take place. So what sense does it make for you to be doing petitions to try and get an industry that spreads the virus back up? It doesn't make sense.
I think I definitely agree that the government should have already stepped in and given them money. They shouldn't have just left them. But then like personally, I'm not going to petition for something to open because I'm not going to like. People invite me to go for a pub and I was like, not being funny. It's a big corona, you think I'm going to go?
Exactly, that's but
I'm busy anyways, but like a big corona, that's not what I'm doing. And then like, I think like you've got to think logically. And I think it's always a well-known fact, even before this all happened, I remember me and my friend, you was always saying, because she was like, I want to do events management at uni, my dad stopped me because she was like, when the first job that I'm going to go, I'm going to be like your events people. So why the fuck would you do that job? That's not a secure job. So like, I think if you think logically, a company's not going to pay for like a big party if they can't afford to keep staff on. That's going to be the first thing they lock off in. That's the way to save money.
No, that's definitely true. So obviously I went for just that. I was obviously exploring different options at the time, but I was looking at doing the grad scheme with a hotel company. But obviously they postponed their grad scheme until next year. So that's just an example of, obviously they've probably been cutting grads that they already had as well.
Yeah.
And it's true, like it's a sick like industry to be in, like events, hospitality.
Yeah.
It is interesting. It's I'm sure it's like really enjoyable, but
Yeah.
right now it makes sense why they're not open. Like you can't have a nightclub open.
Yeah.
Like it just or a festival,
Yeah.
whatever these people want to be going to, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What I would say on their behalf though is that why are you keeping restaurants, bars open till 10? And what different? Because you see that last night in Peckham when they were seeing people doing cricket in the street, all standing next to each other, touching each other.
Yeah.
What? That's them all. They've all probably come out of different.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've now cross-contaminated because you don't know.
So
even if you're doing the track and trace, you don't know who those people come.
Yeah, exactly. Because they've all just come, and then I saw as soon as that 10 p.m. thing started in Oxford Circus outside the tube.
Russian,
There were loads of people, all like what hundreds, probably thousands of people, all filtering out into the tube.
Because then people were like, oh, if people need to use their common sense and just not go out at the same time, I'd be like, 10 o'clock. I'm not even funny. 10 o'clock's pretty early. If I've gone out on a night out, I'm not like if I've gone for drinks, like I'm not even going clubbing. I probably would leave about 10 on a normal day anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm probably not going to midnight. But if you give people those options, there's people that would stay till midnight.
Yeah, would.
Yeah.
But common sense, if they're saying common sense, that doesn't make sense either because most bars open at what, like 1 in the afternoon? What, 12, 1?
Yeah.
And they close at 10.
Yeah.
If you've got work until 5, 6, you want to come for a drink after, you're going to be coming from 6 to 10.
Yeah.
So how can you
so
use
what,
common
you
sense?
Just from 6 to 7 and leave?
Yeah, exactly. You want to enjoy with your
Yeah.
friends in it for a couple hours.
And to be fair, like you can't even just blame it because I did see someone saying that the rise in COVID is coming from there, like people interacting in pubs and stuff. But you've also told everyone to go back to work, so everyone's now starting commuting. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's. I wouldn't. Yeah, you can't. They've only blamed like the young people because that's what they're obviously going to do because they're the ones that are going to normally go to like the pubs and stuff.
Yeah,
obviously, older people will as well, but they're also the ones that are going to school. No one else is going to school. No one else is going to uni. Like obviously, you're having the short shit and stuff. But where the blame's going to lie is with the younger people because they're the ones that are being told to go back to all these things. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
Like,
but
you guys need to get a job, so you'll start going to these job interviews, interacting with all these random people. We're the ones that do like the lower paid jobs in like the supermarkets normally.
They know that obviously they messed up in what was it, March.
Yeah.
So they're now just looking for excuses. But I honestly I don't know how long this is going to go on for, to be honest. It's going to get to a point where people are like, you know what, I don't care anymore. I'm not listening to what your guidelines are.
I feel like people have been that.
I know they've been doing that.
I don't listen to their guidelines. I'm just just going to use common sense. I'm
probably
not going to go to these places and put myself in a situation. But I don't care like what Boris is saying like on normal terms.
You know what I'm saying about like obviously I know people have been doing that anyway, but I mean more and more like it will become like a general like a majority of people will just be like, I'm not doing what you're saying because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm losing money.
Yeah.
Like I'm not enjoying my life.
Yeah.
I know suicide rates and mental health has gone up because of this.
Yeah.
It's not right because even myself, like if I'm working from home, Monday to Friday, I'm just sitting in my own house, from Monday to Friday, not really leaving unless maybe I go gym or shops once, twice, whatever. Yeah. It's like it's not really healthy for anyone to be doing that all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You need human interaction there sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's just. The 10 p.m. thing for me just is so stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
it ain't gonna make a difference to my hours.
You can really help even if you just let them stay open to however long they are normally.
Yeah.
You could save so many businesses by giving them that.
If he just said like
hours.
instead of the 10 p.m. curfew where you have to leave, he could have said after 10 p.m. you can't enter a new bar. You've got to stay in there until it closes. Or if you leave, that's just lock. Instead of like because once you're out, it's not gonna make a difference.
You know, like clubs where they're like
last
century, that would make sense.
That would just make sense because everyone that's in there is still in a contained place.
Yeah.
Like, if they've caught it, they've probably caught it.
And you can still do your 6 at a table. Whatever,
yeah.
You can just have that makes sense.
You can't enter after this point.
That makes sense.
Would that not just be the logical thing? Because then, 2 hours is not gonna make a difference. Like,
if it's all the same people as well, as you said, like
you're not waiting after 10 p.m. Like, well, let's do this.
Exactly.
Like, if you've got it and you've been in there, you've contaminated enough people. You can just say, because realistically, at any point, you could just go jump bar to bar. They might say like, we've got like we're fully booked. If they're not, they're just like, just come in.
True.
You've been in like 3 different places. They might as well just say, or you say like you go to one bar. That's your only entry for the night.
It's dumb. It's all dumb, but it is what it is. Like I don't know. I think he said 6 months. It's gonna be like this for.
I was always say that he promised. It was like newspaper like Boris promised that we'll be out of lockdown by October 2021. I was thinking a whole fucking year.
This guy doesn't know it's going to be.
But a whole fucking year, I'm like, nah.
It's probably gonna be like 2022 by this point. But now someone was saying to me, it was Hash. He was saying apparently Leeds might be going back into lockdown soon.
Yeah, I did see. I was in on the news like the cases are increasing like rapidly there.
Scotland's going into a 2-year lockdown.
But I'm baffled as how like. It's only up north that's happening. You think people in London are just behaving.
Do you know why? As we talked about at the beginning of this with Decentralisation, they don't want to shut down.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you shut down London, then you've got to shut down. There's no way you can justify shutting down London, but nowhere else.
London's probably the worst place. Of all, like
it's
how many people
we're
coming in today. People coming in for work every day, going out. Like doesn't make sense. But
like London and the surrounding areas are probably the worst. Like people, that's where people travel into London and out of London on a daily basis.
Exactly. So
but if they call it in London, they're taking it back to where they're coming from. If they call it where they're coming from, they're bringing it into London. Do you know what I mean? Like
it makes no sense. This guy is
he's just doing everything because as long as if he shuts down London, then he has to shut down. Like you can't then argue that because if London's high, like I mean, you probably could argue that there's places that like there's barely interaction. You don't have to do a massive lockdown. Like there's probably those small villages that even during lockdown it didn't really affect them. So
of course.
We didn't really go out of our village anyways. But to say London shut down, and you basically like said, oh, the country's fucked again.
That's probably you're right. But he's not.
There's no way in hell Leeds is doing worse than London. Like what? You telling me everyone in Leeds is doing something different to people?
Like, it's just, what it is. I think he will lock it down 2 weeks time. But for like a month, and then he'll probably reopen stuff again.
I think they've made it pretty clear they're not going to lock it down until after Christmas, so this can happen.
Till after Christmas? Well, then
you think the British people aren't going to be like, they will spin jewels if they don't get their Christmas how they want it?
To be honest,
do you think Boris will be in it?
After this year, people deserve to be, you know that I know I'm not going to go into what he did with Eid.
Yeah.
Because that's wrong as well, but I think both should have been allowed to do, if you choose to go and do that, that's your business.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. The thing is, I've always said like, even though you did that for Eid, like they can't really police it. Like at Christmas time, there's no way in hell they're going to send a police to everyone's door knocking.
Or how many in this house,
who's in this house. So you can't even physically do it. That's why I was like, you shouldn't have done it for Eid. You shouldn't have done it for any of the things. They opened it, they were like, to be fair, for Easter they were like, oh you can't. They did lock it down for Easter. But that's not like, it was meant to be like the earlier Christmas I suppose. But yeah.
Nah, for Christmas...
But they did VE Day, was it VE Day or VE Day, whatever the fuck that thing was.
People were partying in the streets.
I was on my bike, I went down the road, I could hear people clapping, thinking, what the fuck is going on here?
I've never heard of VE Day until this year.
Until lockdown happened and they were like, oh, we're bored, let's see what we're going to do. Thank God my neighbours weren't on that because I was like, we're on a busy Bay road, I was like, I would not even...
My street, thankfully, everyone just minds their own business. Like, no one really clapped for the NHS. Like, I'm not saying that's a good thing.
No, to be fair, like, I know people in the NHS, even my mum wasn't like, like, what the fuck is clapping going to do?
Yeah, what's it going to do? You want to pay rise, no.
I think, to be fair, there was a couple of claps I was like, I wasn't like, I'm actually not going to clap, I was like,
I heard a few, but then no one celebrated this VE Day thing. No one really celebrated. No one's really gone out too much. Everyone's been pretty sensible about minding their own business, etc. But I was thinking, the people that are partying in the streets over.
They were just doing,
they've never heard of before.
They were doing everything they could just not to be locked down. The clapping thing was just like, I got the first clap. They were like, I'll clap for the NHS, and then they were like, the second clap was like, what was it? Oh, all the other key workers, like, could you just clap them all on one time? Yeah. And then I didn't know it was a weekly thing in it until every week I kept hearing clapping. I was like, what the fuck is going on now? Like,
it's a bit.
It was just literally a competition of like who can make the most noise.
It's annoying as well because I had the empty gesture thing that Boris Johnson said about Black Lives Matter, but then it was okay for him to be encouraging people to clap for the NHS.
Yeah. It's annoying. Or go out and do parties with the EDO.
Exactly, and he was commending that.
And my thing is, not in a rude way, like, you see all these protests, they didn't say the cases went back up. That was still when they were declining,
Yeah.
So now, how all of a sudden are they massively spiking? Do you know what I mean? I think that's nice.
Because it suits them, and to be honest, with the Peckham thing last night, with people playing cricket, about 100 people in the street.
Yeah.
If that was like black people coming somewhere, there'd be riot bands outside.
Yeah.
So it's just a bit like it depends who it is, basically.
But
it depends who is in crowds.
Yeah.
And Christmas
but then to say, even for the protest,
Eagles not okay.
Even for the protest, they were like, they shouldn't stop it. I feel like they realised that they couldn't physically do anything to stop that.
For the protest?
Yeah.
Do you know how much backlash and
even if they did try and attempt it, there's too many people you can't, like, there's not enough people in the police
to stop how many people, There were police, there was a police presence because I went to...
But I think they were just doing like, I'll make sure there was like no fights or... The only thing that I saw at the protest was
I think it was like Britain First or something. They turned up. There's like 5 or 6.
Oh wait, yeah.
And they had to get a
And the black man saved one was like, you're better than me because I would have left.
No, not him. It was the one I went to. It was like it was like probably in the first couple of weeks of everything erupting in terms of the George Floyd situation. It was like these people just turned up and the police like obviously let them. Like went and protected them and and then they just left in it. But they were like trying to stay. People were trying to throw things at etc.
I get, to be fair,
that was the same day.
The
horse thing happened the same day. That was the same day I was there.
I felt bad for that woman. I'm not gonna lie. No, I didn't have to lie. I felt bad, didn't it? Why are you taking a horse to protest? Do you know what I mean? Like,
with that many people in the circumstances as well, like
I know hella people that were laughing hard. I was like, that's
I feel
bad for laughing.
I feel bad for them, but it was not a good idea to be going through horses into a crowd, because horses are also as animals, they're gonna get scared of shouting.
I get they're like, we train them, but I'm thinking there's only so much you can train someone. If like someone's to scare me right now,
you're gonna react. You're gonna react exactly.
Same. You think I care if you're on my back if you get hurt?
Same with like football matches as well. Like
I never understood why they did that, but and people would like chuck things at the horse. Do you know what I mean?
I feel why are they bringing the horse?
That's my thing.
It's just ridiculous, but
and all you have to do is scare the horse. You don't need to scare the police officer because the police officers are trained not to be scared. All I need to do is do something that the horse don't mind. And then so you know you're gone.
Nah, horses scare me, man. I don't think you'll ever see me on top of one, but that's
probably would. But
nah, they're scary, man. They're just big and they're fast, and if they hit you, then you're finished.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But yeah, Your Miracle Podcast, episode 7. Episode 8, 7.
No, it's 7. It's 7.
Yeah. Listen to the next one. Thank you very much, guys.